Game of Geeks podcast, episode number 4.
Welcome to the podcast, A Game of Geeks, where living in your parents' basement isn't a bad thing, it's a requirement. And now, here are your hosts, the subject of the 1980s documentary Revenge of the Nerds, Garrett and Dave.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Game of Geeks, the podcast that specializes in anything with swords, lasers, fangs, lightsabers, and anything else that's cooler than real life. We are your hosts, Garrett Robinson and David W. Wright, authors of a whole bunch of awesome books that I'm not even going to list. You just need to Google us, because
this little thing called Game of Thrones.
Yes. God, I wish I was that rich.
There was an article on George R.R. Martin, and it showed how he lives like in this house. It's like, you know, it looks dumpier than mine. It's like a regular house. It's, you know, and he like
really
he meets with his fans, and he like, you know, he's he's a normal guy. And I was like, wow, when I'm rich, I'm gonna move to a mountain.
That's only accessible by fucking helicopter.
It'll be like a moat of alligators and dragons, you know. I'll interact with people, but from a very safe distance.
Exactly. You'll do Google Hangouts, but that's the limit of that shit.
Yeah. I don't trust anyone, man.
We have a house party going on in our neighborhood tonight, and I was outside having a cigarette, and this party's just blaring music like throughout the whole neighborhood, and I actually had the thought, you know, if Dave were here, he'd walk over there and just start shooting. He'd just start shooting people.
I would give warnings.
Yeah. You all have 2 seconds. 1, 2.
That's why I live, you know, I try to find places far away from anyone, or move like next to, like, you know, in a deaf community or something.
No, a deaf community is worse because they don't know how loud they're being.
I actually, when I was looking for an apartment in my 20s, I actually contemplated moving into this retirement community that sometimes allowed younger people to move in. And I thought how cool it would be to live around just a bunch of old people that are like, you know, don't bother you. I feel very old now.
Nobody does anything. They don't make any noise. They don't go out and throw crazy parties. That'd be awesome. Although you'd have to deal with all of the terrible driving.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I lived in South Florida,
this week's episode was
used
pretty
to it.
badass. Yeah.
Lots of action.
You talking about South Florida, or are you talking about the episode?
No, the
It lagged
episode
a little bit.
Yeah, you're lagging too.
Yes. Okay.
Another stellar podcast.
Yeah. We're just
lagging out.
Exactly. Yay, Google Hangouts. No, this one's actually probably my fault because I had a whole shit ton of apps going when I started the Hangout, so that'll tend to slow everything down. Plus, I think my wife might be watching a movie for, you know, with the kids on Netflix downstairs, so you can blame me this time.
And you're downloading like 55 gigs of porn.
Yeah, absolutely. But only dwarf porn. Tyrion let me discover a side of myself I'd never knew that I had.
It's good that you could open up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm proud of you.
So, yeah, thank you so much, Dave. No, so where do we want to start? Well, the episode started with Jamie, so let's start there. So what do you think? Are they doing a good job of making him like more sympathetic? Are you starting to are you starting to at least feel sorry for him?
They're making the good guys, which would be, you know, the Stark crew that went and grabbed him, they're making them into such assholes that now I'm having to like Jamie. But I like Brienne. Brienne, is that how you say her name? I never get it right.
Yeah.
I like her though. You know, she's good, noble, and all that. So
exactly.
And I like the interactions between them. And yes, they're slowly eroding my hate of Jamie Lannister. Pretty soon I'll have a big poster up behind me. Jamie. Team Jamie.
Team Jamie. it was just so pathetic when he. Obviously, spoiler alerts. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, really, come on. The spoiler alerts for episode 4 of season 3 of Game of Thrones. It was so pathetic when he.
Nobody's listening.
What?
To this yet. Who are we kidding? Nobody's listening to this yet.
Yeah, no, that's true. Nobody's listening. Hey, we have 2 live viewers. What the hell? Hi, whoever the hell you are, creepy stalker persons. If you shout us,
it's George R. Martin. I heard you were trashing my house, you asshole. I didn't mean to say the house looked like crap. I'm just saying, I expected, this nice mansion. But it's a normal, it's like my house.
He's got agents tracking us down. Hey, live viewers, if you give us a shout out on Twitter, we'll give you a shout out back. Because unlike a certain other podcast that Dave is associated with, I do not hate my fans, and I do not hate live Twitter feeds.
No, Johnny's actually he's reverted. He did hate it because it distracted me, but now he's the one watching them. And
yeah, I saw that on what was it, this week's episode or the weekend before, where he's like, I'm coming around on the live Twitter feed, and I'm like, yes, jump on, just start.
He's an
shit.
attention whore.
I love how he talks about how he's like super narcissistic because he listens back to his own episodes like over and over again. But I do the same thing. So what does that say about me?
You're also narcissistic.
Yeah, exactly. Which I already know that's true. But anyway, so Jamie gets like knocked off his horse, and then they're like, starting to like rough him up. Like the guy starts kicking him, and then he elbows the guy in the face and takes the sword and like tries to fight with his left hand. Yes. And then they just like they keep like thwacking him on the back, and then they knock him down, and they make him drink horse piss, and they're like kicking him in the face, and it's just like, Jesus, let up for a second.
I thought for sure they were gonna rape him.
They have been getting rape heavy recently, haven't they?
They've been getting very rapey.
Yeah, very rapey. They've been looking at everybody with rapey eyes. Okay, so moving on to the next. Let's linger on Jamie and Brienne for a moment. I loved their dialogue after everything had happened, when they were just sort of like sitting down and chilling out. And she said, there were so many good lines in this show. I actually made a note of that. And she said, you get like one taste of what the world is for everybody else, and you just start like bitching and moaning like a little girl. And I loved that. It's so true. Crazy. But no, it's true. He's always lived a very sheltered life. And now something really irrevocably bad finally happened to him, and he doesn't know how to deal with it, and she's like trying to help bring him out of that. I love this little dynamic they've got going on. Dude, I gotta tell you, I hated her in the book. I didn't hate her, but she was one of those characters that was so boring. It was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. But she's great in the show. She's fantastic.
She didn't have the kind of one-liners, or it was just
she didn't really have one-line. The book in general didn't have one-liners. Tyrion was the only one who really had one-liners in the book, and she just she was just I felt like she was a lot more two-dimensional in the book. Like all she was a big woman who everybody made fun of because she was so mannish, and she was in love with Renly, but then he died. Like that was pretty much her character, and that just kind of got boring after a while. But like now they, both the actress, she's great. I actually need to learn her name because I don't know it. But the actress and the writing in the show is making her a very like relatable, complex character. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Are they gonna like get together, get married, and have little soldier offspring?
I don't know. I actually don't know what happens.
That would be cool if she came back and killed Jamie's sister.
Oh, that would be badass. Holy
That's
shit.
Too much to hope.
Okay, so let's move on to the next near rape victim, Theon Greyjoy.
Oh my god.
That was fucked up. Right?
What's that dude's deal, man? He wasn't. He's obviously making a play for something, because he killed those people that were with him. That's a long way to go just to make a little joke.
Okay, here's my guess. No shit, I don't know if that's right. Okay, well, here was my guess. The people that are holding him and torturing him are his sister's people, Theon's sister's men. And then Theon's father sent in this guy to rescue him to find out the truth of what happened at Winterfell, or vice versa. Maybe his father's men are the one torturing him, and the sisters, sent the guy in.
Oh,
Something like that.
wow. That would make sense.
It would make sense, and and it's just it was such a mind fuck, because like I said in the last episode of the podcast, I thought Theon was dead by this point from what I'd read in the books. So all of this, like when he ended up back in the torture room tonight, I was just like, oh shit. No idea that was going to happen.
Another person you feel sorry for, even though you hate them.
Yeah, I feel less sorry for him. Stuff. I'm sure more stuff will happen, and he'll become more sympathetic. But like for me, I'm just sort of like, ugh. He doesn't have any like brimming confidence. That's what will like win me over in a character more than anything else. And Jaime is like so confident that even when he was being at his worst, I still kind of liked him because I was like, because he's so competent at what he does. Theon doesn't have anything like that. He's just a dick. So I'm still not totally on board with him.
Interesting.
Do you think it's the sister or the father who is holding him and torturing him?
I would think the father more than the sister. I mean, she seemed to not hate him as much as the father did.
Right.
Like she just
likes fucking with him.
Well, I think she wanted him to like, man up and prove himself or whatever, but the father seems to despise him.
Yeah, he really, really does. He's got that whole thing where it's like, well, I gave you away to the Starks, and now you've grown up a Stark. It's like, well, you gave me a what?
The only good father in this show is dead.
Yeah, exactly, right? No, hold on. There's got to be another good one. There's got to be another. Jaime's not a good father. No, you might be right.
I mean, the only
good
one
father
we've
in the
met so
show
far
died. Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
How'd you like that scene at the beginning with Tyrion and Varys and the sorcerer?
Well, I couldn't tell what was going on with the guy's mouth. Was there like rope in it, or was his face just severed? Or I couldn't.
I think he had it stitched shut. I think that Varys had his people stitch it shut so that the guy couldn't cast magic.
I love the look in Tyrion's eyes when he after the man showed him and he was telling him telling him about it. He looks up at him and he has this look that seemed to say, "I better not fuck with this guy," because he has a very long memory.
Like, this guy, you crazy motherfucker.
I like that, and I like the background on his character, what happened to him, and why he is the way he is. I still can't tell. I can't figure him and Littlefinger are kind of like very similar characters, and they're
very much so.
They're both influence peddlers, but I'm trying to tell which one of them, if either of them, is a better person. I think Varys is. I'm not sure though.
Yeah. I'd go with Varys. He does lie and he will betray, but I forget if this is a speech from the show or if it was only in the book. But he gives a nice little speech in the book that says, I think he's talking to Ned Stark because it's in the first book, and he basically says, I would lie to you, I would cheat you, I would betray you, but the only reason I do that is to keep the kingdom alive. I am loyal to the kingdom above all else, and if I think that somebody's going to be a good king, whether they're like an honorable person or not, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to put that person on the throne and support that person. And your honor is like, it's great, I respect you for that, but I'm always loyal to the kingdom first. Whereas and this is another one of those great lines from the show, Littlefinger would burn the city, it would burn the country, the whole nation to the ground if he could be king of the ashes.
Yeah.
That was such a good line. That was one of those ones that just made me like punch the air and go like, oh, that's awesome.
I really enjoyed Varys's later conversation with the older queen lady.
Yeah.
That was very. They're very similar in their ability to manipulate people. So it was really good to see her, like, call him out when he approached. And there's a spider in
right,
there.
Totally. Yeah, that was awesome.
Probably shouldn't say a fat little spider.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what her game is. Like, is she just trying to set her family up as best she possibly can?
I do wonder what their exchange was regarding Sansa. They said, well, there's one way to take care of that, to make sure that Littlefinger doesn't marry Sansa. Now, I wonder.
Well, I think that's what Marjorie then approached Sansa about. I think that's what that whole sequence was.
Okay, that I couldn't tell. See, I had a very annoying situation when I was watching the show. Suddenly my cable said HBO East High Definition is not available at the moment. So I'm like, what? Like in the middle of the show, it just cut off. So then I had to go and find like the lower resolution channel, but then I had missed like a good 15 minutes. So I went back and rewatched it, just before we were talking. But
okay.
In that, I'm sure I lost some of the stuff.
Well, Marjorie came to Sansa and she said, I really want us to be really good friends. And Sansa was like, I would love that, but it's probably not going to happen. You're about to be the queen. I'm going to do whatever. I'm a traitor's daughter and yada, yada. And Marjorie proposed this idea to her where she said, you should go live in my home country. Shit. I had the name 30 seconds ago, but I forget. But you should go live in my home country. And she's like, the queen would never let that happen. And she's like, in about a month, I'm going to be the queen. And so she tried to set her up to marry her brother. So then if she marries her brother, then she'd go live back in her home nation. And, and then they would actually literally be sisters-in-law. And I really think that she wants to help her. I think that she is trying to...
Yeah, I think genuinely believe that.
Yeah,
I hope I'm not
I didn't
wrong.
see a whole. Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of scheming, other than the fact that then her brother would be Lord of Winterfell. Like he would have some claim to Winterfell because he's married the eldest Stark child. But with everything that they're doing so far, like they need
somebody decent.
Right, exactly. That whole family is playing a really clever game, like with Marjorie manipulating Joffrey, but they seem to have good intentions. It's like, yes, they're manipulating people, but it doesn't look like they're trying to destroy the, world. They're just like typical politicians. It's like, let's make what arrangements we can so that we become, richer and more powerful. But they're not like, kill everything in the world.
Now, one scene that I wanted to ask for your take on it, because I wasn't sure what to think, was when Marjorie led Joffrey out to meet the adoring crowds.
Yeah.
There was a lot of looking by Cersei. She was like,
right.
She was nervous that her son was probably going to get killed or ridiculed or whatever. But
right.
I think I missed something. Like what was the whole? What I don't know. I felt like I missed something in that whole whatever happened. Did something happen like beneath the currents that I missed?
What didn't totally make sense to me was why the crowd was so happy to see Joffrey. Marjorie made sense, but I don't like. It seemed like they were a little too enthusiastic.
Well, she might have rounded some people up.
I don't know.
I didn't hear a lot of chanting but I heard chants for her name, and he looked at her at one point, and at first I thought, this is what I was confused by. When they were saying her name, and obviously it was more than his name, was he threatened by that at all? Because I got the feeling that he might have been, but then he wasn't. I couldn't tell.
I think that at first he was like, they're cheering for her, and then he sort of came around to the thought that, well, she's my wife, and I can like, and if they like her, then they'll like me, because he does want to be admired, as sociopathic as he is. You know, he does want to have the adoration of his people, like any good, you know, narcissistic megalomaniac. So I think that's what was going on. Was he was. No, I know, right?
I want to see him.
What was funny was that I know they're doing a really good job of continuing to make you hate him, but they're making Marjorie manipulate him into being kind of a good king. You know, like I feel like that's where she's steering him.
Perhaps he's still a evil fuck.
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to be a good king. I think
worse than Jamie.
He's going to die. Oh, he's way worse than he's the worst person on the show. He's the number one person on the show who I want to see take a sword in the face.
We did have a
maybe Tywin. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting to the when his daughter came.
What? Which one?
When
oh.
That was a very
such an asshole.
Interesting scene. Yes, you can see why she's such a bitch.
Oh man, that whole family is just terrible. Well, no, Tyrion's all right, but that's because they all beat up on him.
It's like a soap opera.
He's like, I'm not going to be assholes like these people. Yeah, totally.
That is.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that it was. That actually was the moment when I liked Tywin Lannister the most, when he's like, I don't trust you because you're not actually that smart. And I was like, yes! He recognizes that his daughter is a dumb, psychopathic bitch. Hallelujah.
And he also said something which I thought was cool, where he said he wasn't going to let her son, like, you know, continue to do what he's doing. So I wonder what he has in play. Right.
Yeah, it's do you think maybe he's behind Marjorie and that whole family? Like maybe he's like, you know, bringing them he did that intentionally, and he's like in conference with the grandmother to make sure that she tells Marjorie to.
He's smart enough to definitely, you know, see the political alliances and how they would benefit him. Yeah. So it's possible. I don't know the whole backstory of the families and such, but
that would be trippy if that's what he's doing. Like his long game is to bring in an allied family to control his psychotic grandson.
I still want to see him die, though.
Yeah, I see Joffrey dying. Joffrey's got to die, and he's got to die relatively soon. I just, yeah, he needs to die. If he doesn't die, I'm going to be very unsatisfied. When do you think he dies? This season or the next season?
I don't know. People like that seem to hang around forever. Like Iron Maiden said, only the good die young, and all the evil seems to live forever.
A rare Iron Maiden quote. All right. The next thing that I wanted to bring up was the Lord Commander of the Black Watch and everything with the Black Watch. Everybody north of the Wall.
Yeah, that's like that's when the cable went out, and I was really pissed. And then I came back.
No.
And I came back and I saw all the mayhem, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
Did you?
But I did see it though.
Okay, yeah, the Lord Commander got stabbed in the back.
Yeah, that was fucked up. And Sam ran off with the pregnant, or the, you know, woman that just had the child.
Yeah. Great life decisions, Sam.
He had to. Oh, he wouldn't have been long for this world if he didn't leave.
If he didn't leave, but like, okay, you're already fat, you're already weak, you're already cowardly, and I don't think he had a horse. So you're running away from your brothers on the Night's Watch. What's the first thing you do? Go pick up a go pick up a chick who just had a baby and her kid. That's going to make it easy.
He's being heroic.
He's being heroic. It was good, and I'm glad that he did it. But it's just like, come on, how you don't think he's gonna make it back to the wall?
He will make it because I think George R.R. Martin is a big chubby kind of guy, and he wants to write a chubby hero. I think for all of us fat fans out there, Sam
like
is
Tolkien
our character.
It's like Sam from Lord of the Rings, how he was the bravest and like the best guy in the entire book because Tolkien was a gardener and Sam was a gardener. He was like, the gardener is going to save the world, basically.
So do you know what happened?
Actual, like,
you know what happens
at the end of Lord of the
no?
Rings?
No. To our chubby hero in Game of Thrones.
No, I do not. I only have enough attention units to remember what happens to one fat Sam. I don't. I honestly no. I was out of the book before that happened.
Okay.
I don't think he makes it back to the wall, though. It's too perfect. He's the cowardly character, and he's got a woman and an infant with him. How can George R.R. Martin not kill them? I mean, this is Martin we're talking about.
People are about to be happy. It's time for death. Maybe he'll run into Rob. Or John. I'm sorry.
Rob or John?
John.
Yeah, John. Maybe John. Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, well, I guess
and
we'll
then
see.
They'll kill him.
But what's crazy is that like now there isn't like there's no Night's Watch left basically. Like everybody's dead or running away. You know, it's like there's a few people back at the wall, but the fucking White Walkers are coming. You know.
How many Night's Watch were there though?
I don't know. Obviously not
just
that
this little
many.
crew we've been with, or are there different
groups I think,
along the wall at different points that we just haven't?
There are
met?
different posts. There are different posts along the wall at different points, but that was the headquarters, so to speak. That old dude, he was the boss of the entire Night's Watch.
Like a boss.
So, yeah, like a boss. So I don't know. Like this is looking shittier and shittier up north by the second. So now you got zombies coming down from the north, dragons coming down from the south, and everybody's too busy bickering with each other to do any fucking thing about it.
Can't wait to see what's gonna happen.
Everybody's fucked. Everybody's fucked. They're all gonna die.
I wonder if
yeah,
Martin
seriously
has any idea what he's doing as far as the end game
I wonder,
of this whole thing.
Right, exactly. He's just like, I'm gonna build up and build up and build up and build up. All right, last book.
Everybody dies.
Fuck. Everybody just dies. But
the only
in
person
war.
left will be Jeffrey.
Yeah. A meteor crashes down on the world and kills everyone, but Joffrey is hiding in the bowels of the castle and survives.
Yeah.
That would be just like him. Okay, speaking of dragons, Daenerys, last scene, holy shit.
It was very, very predictable. But it's also what I wanted to happen, so I loved it. I didn't care that it was predictable. And I loved how she outed herself that she spoke his language. That was like played perfectly. Yeah. I was afraid I was afraid when she told the slaves to rise up and attack everyone, with a weapon or whatever. They were going to attack the two guys she was with. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't get them killed off. But they survived. Because I like the dude that's been with her from the beginning. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he's great. And the new guy that showed up, it's like, he's cool. He's got a good history and everything. Daenerys might be my favorite so far, like for the actual throne.
She's probably too benevolent. I don't know. Could she really could she allow the slaughter of like children and women, or would she just go and take all the men out?
I think she'd just go take the men out.
That's
work. Why she wanted the Unsullied, because it's like she they don't rape or pillage or anything. They just kill people.
I'm imagining a Lady Gaga leading an unsullied army of monsters.
No, but she's going to show up with 8,000 of the baddest ass troops the world has ever seen and 3 motherfucking dragons. I think she's going to win.
Yeah, that ending where they just showed like all the troops like from the faraway shot, then the dragon flying. I was like, wow, they don't know what they're in for.
Seriously, like nobody back in King's Landing has any fucking idea how fucked they are.
Now, have they got ships and all that yet, or are they?
They
just
don't have ships already. They'll just take them.
They'll just build them in like a day.
I need your ships. All right.
Here's a question.
Give them to me.
I'm curious how she can lead 8,000 people if she has the ability to do so. Like, how is she going to provide like food and stuff for them? Are these people like self-sufficient? I mean, 8,000 is a lot of mouths to feed.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a very, very good point. I mean, you'd imagine that. Right. You need like supply trains. That was one thing I did think of while they were all walking away. It's like, that's a whole lot of infantry and no wagons, no cattle, no... It's not like they need tents because these motherfuckers just sleep on the ground, but they can't not eat forever.
Right. And, you have 8,000 people move into any territory. There's going to be a battle for resources. I'm curious how they will address that.
That's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. I didn't even
or if
think
they just
of that.
Gloss over it.
Yeah,
they're all
no, we're just marching.
You can already make.
Hey, she's got dragons.
Yeah,
she's got dragons, and you're worried about realism in this series? Look, right over there's a dude with guns that fire pink smoke and a unicorn.
Hey, do your research. Don't wing it.
No, I think Daenerys is going to win. I really think she is. Like, who else could win? Stannis? Because he's got that wizard chick. The dragons breathe fire. They're going to eat her. Like, literally eat her.
You know what? I'm thinking for the end game, or, maybe before then, I think that's the battle looming. I think it is that evil chick against Daenerys. Then I think Daenerys will go in. I think Daenerys will go in and maybe not have the heart to kill all these people or whatever, or just, I don't know, maybe I'm projecting too much kindness into her. But perhaps, she'll see this other
she did
woman.
just raise a city.
Yeah, so she'll see this other woman, for the evil and threat that she is to like all of mankind. Or maybe the lady will kill one of her dragons and she'll get pissed.
Okay. Here it is. Stannis and the Lady of Light versus Daenerys. Okay. Lannister allies themselves with Stannis and the Lady of the Light. Stark allies themselves with Daenerys once they like actually meet her and see that she's like, not a psychotic, crazy killer bitch. Marjorie and her family are probably bound to the Lannisters and have to be on like the bad side, but Sansa arranges for them for Marjorie at least to be. I'm just calling the end of the show here. This is going to happen. None of this is going to happen. Dude, this is going to be so fucking epic. This is going to be great. Holy shit! I can't wait for next week. I can't wait for next season because the end game isn't even close.
Yeah. I am going to, when this season here is over, I'm sure I'm gonna just want to plunge right into the books to find out what the hell happens. I don't think I'll be able to wait. They're building shit up too good.
All right. Well, it's gonna be good. All right. The last thing that I have to mention. I saw a hilarious article. It wasn't by The Onion, but it was by one of those humorous fake news sites. And it was a fake story. And it was about a chick who posted a Craigslist ad. And she had just bought the $30,000 authentic replica of the Iron Throne. It's like this is an actual thing you can buy and you can have in your house, the Iron Throne with the swords and everything. And
hold on, I have to go buy that.
Right? I'm like, dude, as
My
soon as I
ads
get the
15
cash.
wages Sunday.
Oh my God. I'd just be like, sweetie, I know that we talked about getting a second car, but
I'm sorry, honey, we're not going to be able to eat for a while. Daddy's got to get that throne.
So this chick posts a Craigslist ad. It says have $30,000 Iron Throne replica. Need Robb Stark lookalike to conquer me upon it.
That actually sounds like a girl I know.
And it just goes into all of the different depraved sexual acts that she wants to dress up as Daenerys and have her Robb Stark lookalike do all of these things to her on the throne, and it just goes on and on. If you do not look like Robb Stark, do not apply. If you do not have appropriate, roleplay clothes, do not apply. However, Robb Stark has just been captured and been in the dungeon for a while, so he's not going to be in like his best uniform or whatever. It's the whole thing. It's hilarious. When I finish putting the site together and put it up, I'll put it in the show notes.
So was it a fake story or a real story?
It was all fake. All of it's fake. Yeah, I know, right? David's like, give me the email. I've got a pen.
Well, I look just like him, so I figured, I'd take her up on the offer.
Oh, shit.
The camera adds 150 or so pounds.
Jeez, what does that make me, Ethiopian?
You're like not even there. You're like a waif.
I am two-dimensional. Oh, shit.
So anyway, what's her face?
Ooh, what is her face?
The young sword girl, Anya.
Oh, Arya. Yeah,
Arya,
okay,
Arya.
no, you're right. And the Hound.
Yeah.
So the Hound. Okay, now, so that was interesting. So it's like the Hound, and trial by combat, and the Lord of Light is going to judge him. Dude, the Hound is going to kill this guy.
Yeah, that's sad. And
He's
then what?
Kill this guy?
Does he take over the Lollipop Guild or what?
The Lollipop
the
Guild.
Brothers Without Banners.
He's gonna kill him, and he's gonna go free. Like it's gonna be so anticlimactic. It's like you will be judged in trial by combat.
It feels like filler.
A little bit. I think it's more of a device to get him and Arya on the run together, because I think she escapes with him.
What about the boy she's with though? That's the rightful heir to the throne. That's our brother.
He is actually the
Does she know that?
rightful. What?
Does she or he, either of them, do they know that? Who he
That
is?
he's the rightful heir to the throne?
Yeah.
No, the only person who knows that is Varys, I think. I think. I could be wrong about that.
Tyrion doesn't
But honestly, who?
Tyrion doesn't know?
No. Tyrion doesn't know. If he knew, he'd be doing something about it. He would have attention on that. But I think Varys knows, and I think Varys, doesn't care.
I forgot that they said that... Okay, I forgot that they had staged that kid's death in the prior season. When the people were looking for him, somebody had died, and they put that the helmet, or was it a sword with him?
I think helmet.
Yeah.
The bull helmet.
Okay. So
yeah, but that kid's never going to be the king. He doesn't know anything about politics. He doesn't know anything about power. Even if they came to him and they're like, "You're the rightful heir to the throne," he'd be like, no, thanks. I appreciate it."
I thought they were setting him up to be this cool character. So
he's a cool character, but he just he's,
I'm still waiting for that guy with the many faces to come back.
Yes, he's
The
so
assassin.
cool.
So you know
he does.
So he's got to be coming back soon then, because you said you quit halfway through.
Well, I
You don't wanna
remember
ruin
how
it
I
for me.
said that they followed. No, remember
yeah,
how I said that in the book it's like a character for the whole book, a character, and now they're running them chronologically. So it's like he does make an appearance again, but I don't think it's very soon.
Okay.
But he's awesome. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen. The Hound is going to kill this motherfucker, and then he's going to escape, and Arya is going to be like, "Oh, I want to join you," or he's going to like forcibly kidnap her, and because he's got some fucking thing for underage Stark girls.
No, he tried to protect the sister.
He's
not a bad
protect.
Oh no, he's not like a fucking Catholic priest.
I was gonna say he protects the Stark girls like your Uncle Jimmy protects you at family reunions when he's had too much to drink.
Get under the table,
Anyway.
quick! Oh, this podcast just veered into the dark.
Well,
woods.
that escalated quickly. All right.
Well, it's nice knowing
I'm
y'all.
just gonna play the outro music. Goodbye, everybody. We're sorry. We really are.
Please
That's it
accept
for this show.
I'm sure
I'm
not
gonna
all
finish-
Catholic priests molest people.
No.
I mean, at least 10%
Probably a minority
must not.
percentage. I only have a limited amount of outro music, David. I'm going to be done with the website tonight. Check it out at agameofgeeks.com. Leave comments. Subscribe on iTunes when this is on iTunes, etc., etc. We'll see you next week. I feel dirty.
Sorry.